I'm going to welcome you to the second hour of Mind Shifters Radio. Today is Friday, August the 15th, 2025. And we're glad you're with us. Michael and I just got back. We took the kids and went putt-putting early this morning. It's 90-some degrees here in Orlando at 10 o'clock. And I said, I'm melting. But they're still out there, and we came back to the unit to do the show. So we are with you, and we're glad you're with us. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you, dear heart, and welcome everybody. Delighted we get to be here. Delighted we get to be here with our grandbabies, with our kids, and delighted that we get to spend time with you in this expression of work that is designed to bring about the fulfillment of who we are as human beings. So delighted you're here, and I'm not sure whether we're going to go ahead and do a worksheet. But if anyone has a thought, push that mute button, say hello. What's on your mind? How are you doing? Anything to share? And if everyone is silent, Miss Jeanie, you have a thought for us?
I don't. It's just the taskbar is in front of my
Okay, your mute button.
gears.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So I'm
Well,
going
then I'm
back
going to
on
move
mute.
forward with the rendition, or it's thinking of what they call the Lord's Prayer, which we made clear the other day is not a prayer. Prayer means nothing, has nothing to do with putting order in the cosmic gift catalog. So if that passage we did the other day from Hebrews, if two words turn so much upside down, inside out, and around, what do you suppose we get if we get the correct energetic hit, the correct interaction with what Yeshua spoke about that would orient and align you to bring into your physiology the actual presence of what we weakly call, when I say weakly, I mean with words, it's weak love. What's that mean? So we pointed out when we started this conversation about what they call the Lord's Prayer that Yeshua was not asked to pray, he was asked to give instructions on prayer. Obviously, people didn't know what it meant or how to do it. And people who didn't know what it meant, how to do it, are going around doing the exact opposite of what he said to do and doing exactly what he said not to do. He said, don't repeat and repeat like the pagans. That's just, rote memory. So he wasn't offering words to repeat like drones. He wasn't offering words to be spoken or believed, but literally was giving instructions on what to do to bring your human life, to bring literally the love of God. And, where can we draw a line between those two? To bring that into your physiology so that you can fulfill your purpose of living a truly fulfilling life, a truly human life. So the essence of everything that he taught is really encapsulated in this one set of words. And you remember at one point he said, my words are your perfect life. I think we would more correctly understand that phrase to say, my words are going to resonate in you what will bring you into alignment with your true human life. Your perfect life, and life being love moving through a cell, will bring that life more abundantly, as he said he was about. And there are 5 parts in this instruction set. He gives us instructions in the 5 categories that need attention in order to literally have the direct experience, not talk about, not babble about, not wish, not hope, but a set of instructions to follow to bring you into capturing, being the space where the active presence of love is much like the TV signals captured in the antenna reflected in the TV. He's giving a set of instructions for how to orient and align ourselves to capture and reflect human life, love, the Creator, into the world. And it's interesting, there's an order to the instructions. The first one is acknowledgement. And then there's worship. And the best word that I've been able to come up with, because people do all sorts of things, they have what they call worship music, and it's all tingly and it feels good, but does it actually bring one into alignment? So the first one, my best understanding of the word worship is to emulate. Do we emulate living as the active presence of love? Or do we have all kinds of things to whine and complain and defend about and, do all sorts of other things with? So there's the acknowledgement and then the commitment to emulate the presence of love. The second part is acknowledgement once again and appreciation. And recognize that true gratitude, there's been a lot of research done in gratitude, but I think most of the research that's been done in gratitude is people who are efforting appreciation or efforting gratitude, which produces some really positive physiological and healing results. But real gratitude is not of the mind, is not something we effort, but it's a reflection of the fact that you followed the instructions. You've opened and let your physiology contain, capture, bring into experience the truth of your human life. It's the signal. Gratitude, I would offer, is the signal, the reflection that we've truly entered into prayer. And remember, in the Aramaic, that word is not about putting your order into the cosmic gift catalog, but means to set a trap for God, to be the space that captures the energy of your human life, which for most people, because of generational patterns of rage and guilt and grief and fear, pain and drama and trauma and defense and fight, has been gated out of our experience. He spoke about the gates narrow. This points to the gate. And when you open the gate and you go into that experience, the kind of gratitude that he's talking about will be just the reflection of that, of being that space. Then the third section is acknowledgement and speaks of forgiveness. Kind of part and parcel is the fourth section that talks about our part in the forgiveness process that heals and preserves that space of love in us. You look at the ancient word liturgy, and it doesn't mean everybody going to church together. The word liturgy, and that's, to me, this radio show is our liturgy. It means our common work. And you look at the work that individually and collectively we get to do in this liturgy, that's what going to, a building to do what they call church is about. It's our common work. And then the fifth division of this instruction set is once again acknowledgement. It's interesting. Each step, acknowledgement is a key, appreciation, and then an expression of keeping error at bay and receptivity to truth. So what I'd like to do is offer a rendition of his instruction set that is not a translation, but more looking in our culture today, different than Yeshua's culture 2,000 years ago, but looking at what do we need to face in our culture today to become the space, to orient ourselves, to align ourselves, to become that space that captures the active presence of love in which we live, move, and have our being, the active presence of love which holds our human lives. And again, you can't distinguish between the two. The Aramaic language of Yeshua is a right brain language. And as such, it's very unlike our left brain language, which attempts to capture literal meanings as though the actuality of a thing could possibly be seized by words. Literal is not a word that can be attached to a right brain statement. So this instruction set is a practical how-to of living as literally the active presence of love. You know, in essence, forget your list, become the space. And when spoken with the goal of attunement to our true nature, with sincerity and reverence, these words will help to empower you, become the instruction set for becoming that space. That is, for incarnating your essential nature, the being you were created to be. It isn't about fixing the non-being self. It isn't about repairing, it's about bringing into experience. You know, the pseudo solutions of the non-being mind. Oh, the mind has all kinds of things it believes will fix and take care of everything. And if it is not being the space, capturing the truth of your human beingness, if it makes anything more important than being connected to your source, then it's based in a fraud and it's never going to produce the result. So this is faithful to the instructions Yeshua gave and addresses the issues that need to be dealt with in our culture in order to produce the space for being to enter form, to enter and incarnate fully. And it outlines in part the work required to hammer out the divots, you know, to take the dents out of the energy field, the misaligned parts, the places that are locked up and locked into resistance. Remember, in Aramaic, that word Satan has nothing to do with the guy with the red suit, a tail, and pitchfork. The word Satan means the resistor, one who misleads. And the resistance that needs to be removed is physiological. It is installed in our structures by our minds. A big part of undoing it is done with our minds. And the physiological shift, again, the divots have to be hammered out. The misalignments that block entry of love into our form. The hostilities, the fears, the rages, the guilt of the generations that when they are resonated into activity tend to form pictures in our minds that seem so real. Who could resist them? Yes, that's it. The resistor. So what we're here to support is each person arriving in their own form fully as that presence. And I'd offer that's what's going to produce the leavening that leavens the whole loaf. When enough people will actually do that as opposed to talk about it. So what I'd like to do, although my Aramaic pronunciation is very poor, I'll ask you if you really know the pronunciation of the Lord's Prayer in Aramaic or what they called the Lord's Prayer in Aramaic. Please forgive as to my poor pronunciation. But what I'd like to do is go through the Aramaic words as a way of attunement. And one of the things that the physicists tell us is that time and space are products of our minds, that they don't really exist. If they are correct, then at this moment, you and I could go to and presence ourselves on the shores at the Sea of Galilee. Now, of course, if you're driving down the road, this would not be a good exercise for you. But if you're in a place where you can stay still and just be in that space, what I would like to do is put forward the Aramaic words as a way of attunement. So I'll ask you to just get quiet. And then I'd like to offer an English, it won't be a translation, but rather a faithful set of instructions that come out of the Aramaic words for those who lived 2,000 years ago as to what we would need to be doing today in our world to face and deal with some of the things we need to deal with. So I'm going to invite you to just kind of get centered and take a few deep breaths and just allow yourself to be transported to the salt air on the shores of the Sea of Galilee. You breathe yourself to that space and allow yourself to be there listening to Yeshua live as he repeats these words. And though you may not have the brain cells for the Aramaic words, the vibration is there to carry you. And so just allow yourself to be in that vibration. Abun Vishmaya Niskadashishmach Tefe Malkutha Netwe Siriana Chekena Tveshmeap Ba'a Hovlan Lakma Desunkana Yomana Washwaklan Habain Ekena Dap Kranschwaken Keowain Hula Te Elan Helnisiona Ela Pestan Minbisha Mitol De Lachre Malkutha Wela Teshbukta Alam Almin Amen. O eternal creator, parent to us all, who is in the realms of the unmanifest, make a space in us for wholeness, that we may be taught to honor, emulate, and serve you, that we may receive the understanding that it takes to be that space. Let your counsel, your wisdom, and your presence come alive in us. Let your light penetrate us, attune us to, and empower us to conceive of and understand that will which you have already created for us. Teach us, embody us, so that we may give birth to your fruit. That you renew and feed us daily with the presence of your love, the presence of each other as love, And the food we receive is a gift we gratefully accept. Thank you for restoring us to truth, abundance, and being, which fully reflects as blissful gratitude. Now, having entered into actual prayer, and as a result of having experienced fully our shared true nature is love, we commit to maintaining that state, regardless of whether others are just or unjust. Doing that because that space is what we are, not because of some magical trick of the mind doing something for bad people. That when we do our part in forgiving, remove from us generations of energetic patterns we've engaged in that do us harm. Patterns that have blocked awareness of our true nature, your presence in us. Patterns that do not belong in our humanness is another of your blessings we appreciate. We commit responsibility in using our will to do our part in opening the space for that healing. When we are tempted by our own minds, lost in materialism, or fall out of harmony with your love, your presence, that you are eternally there. With us, being that space of love, that your love is present no matter how far we fall, no matter where we go, is a blessing we gratefully accept. That with your grace, when we but speak the word, you detoxify and free us of our habit minds, our errors, and through your ever-expanding light, part us from darkness. Is another blessing we realize flows from your presence. We receive each of these gifts with gratitude and praise, sealed in trust, faith, and truth. Amen. Amen. And recognize that the direct experience of this truth can only be delivered to you on your breath. And it's your birthright to live in it. Breathing with you. And for me at this moment, it almost seems like sacrilege to say anything else. But of course, being the fact that we're in an auditory medium, it would probably be a little boring to say any words. So we'll open the space for that. And for me, when I think about what we covered with Hebrews 12:6 the other day, and the changing of just two words, and what a monumental difference it makes to take this set of words and understand it as it was originally meant in the Aramaic, as it was originally presented to me, is just life transforming. And I hope it is for you.
Hi, Michael. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I could feel lots is happening in my world right now about understanding the energetic transmission and then finding the words in the English language of which I communicate that matches the energetic frequency of what is being imparted through, in this case, the Aramaic prayer. And I could really feel when I just rested into my own being, the energetic transmission through the Aramaic, and then capturing the truth of that through the words you presented in English. So thank you. I could actually really feel the importance of that and how that we're all here to be the lighthouses of the truth. And, you know, what you said in the end, sealed in trust, in faith, in truth.
Yeah.
You know, so important that we are. And I can actually see it as an antenna, right? That we're setting the trap for that vibration of the truth
That's
of the
it.
one. And knowing that, and no matter what the distorted replicate mind, carbon-based memory that's sitting there, which is not the truth, and just trusting in the truth of God, that we are that. So yeah, thank you so much.
You are very, very welcome, and thank you for saying thank you. And you know, I've done a workshop based on this for years, or a presentation called "Living, Not Saying the Lord's Prayer." But this morning, for me, as I went back to it and really tuned into it, it had a whole different level of impact for me, and really
Yeah,
transformed my experience of it.
yeah, it's so important right now. I can just, yeah, energetically in this world, lots is occurring. And of course, we talk about the brain cells, right? But we finally have the capacity to perceive energetically what's really intended in that transmission. And then we get to
Yeah,
carry it forward into this illusion.
yeah, and Susan B., I heard you loud and clear yesterday as you were talking about how much insanity is being generated and put into the field as well. And to me, the hope is the recognition that each one that brings that higher energy in is bringing the transforming power, the transmuting power, literally the dissolving power of the active presence of love. It's like if we actually can align ourselves to bring that into the world in the same way you've heard me use the example before of, there was before the Grand Canyon it was this huge, miles and miles and miles of rock. I don't know how, hundreds of feet deep. And then a solvent came. And over a period of time, the flow of that solvent, that dissolving medium, what seemed like solid rock disappeared and became the Grand Canyon. And each one that shifts out of being a generator of hostility and fear, no matter how justified it seems to be based on circumstances, and becomes the solvent instead, counterbalances and dissolves, transmutes literally the energy of the insanity that's being played out over and over and over again. So just really, Susan B., joining you in being that space, and everybody else in this community that's working in this direction. So breathing into that and breathing that into each of our physiology to become the team that changed the world. I think, we talked a while back about the naming of our community website. That's going to be it, the team that changed the world. I'd love your thoughts on it. And so welcome. How's everybody doing? Did that fit? Make sense? Did you feel like you were able to step into that space? And do you have a thought for us? A question, answer, idea?
And Celinda's with us. Did you have a chance to do that
Oh, cool.
worksheet? And do you have any questions about it, Celinda? While we have time to go over it?
No, I didn't. I got tied up this morning, and so Monday we'll do it. But I do have some comments about it that I would like to share with you. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you, but you had made a request to do the worksheet, so if you're ready to, we could jump in and go for it.
Oh, let's go for it, because when I was doing it before you talked to me, I'd already had some things flash up, and since I reread all of this, I'm really excited about
Good.
doing this worksheet. As simple
Cool.
as possible, please.
Okay, so what did you arrive at would be the bottom line goal that you're going to work with?
The safety. It always
Safety.
comes back to safety.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
All the roads lead to Rome.
Yes. Okay, and then, I think that it was really powerful for you yesterday, or at least from where I sit, it was powerful for you to allow that, what I would consider to be one of the pseudo solutions of the non-being mind is, well, if I just keep defending my position, then I'll be safe. And being able to collapse that and drop into the real underlying energetic issue, bring it to the presence of love, and create healing on a whole other level is what I'm here to support for you.
Yeah, and the mind shifter you gave me was spot on. And especially when you added a rest and in safety, or was that Susan that said that? Always do, let me see, do from the mind of love and rest in safety.
Yes.
That was really the safety, the whole conversation around safety. And by the way, I got on A-Books last night and ordered A Course in Miracles. Paid $8.75 for it.
Well, that's a deal.
Thing, the whole enchilada.
All right.
Including the workbook and the teacher's manual and everything. It's all in one volume.
Nice.
And so
nice.
So I don't know when I'll read it, but at least I can reference it in relation to the quotes that you make. I think that's sweet. Okay.
So then
and
you're going to fill in number 3 with safety.
Okay.
The goal to be safe.
Okay.
And then
my emotion would be what? My emotion, I think, is rage. That was hidden behind the fear. That conversation about rage was really important. Okay.
Right.
So rage.
The rage, as I understand it, from when I called you the other day, that rage then was the energy that was used or pardon me, fear and intimidation were the energy that were used to shut down or to squash your rage.
Yeah, the men could express rage, but the women couldn't.
Yeah.
And
Insane,
yeah,
isn't it?
And yeah, it is. And it goes back to that memory of my mother telling me about I only had one temper tantrum that we've talked about multiple times. I realized the primal scream, now this is just for this moment, I might change my mind in 2 minutes, but the primal scream has to do when we have our first temper tantrum, we want something, it's a goal, we want it, and when we get stopped, the immediate feeling is rage. But then it can be buried in fear by the punishment that follows. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, that was the point that I was making to the other day. Yes, that if your rage is not acceptable, then someone intimidates you into shutting that down. And the point that I really wanted to make with you the other day, I hope it came across, was that the nature of rage or anger is that of an anesthetic. So just to lay out a scenario, cancel the thought, I'm in pain. I'm using rage to cover it up. And now somebody bigger and stronger than I am uses intimidation and fear to shut down my rage. But intimidation and fear does not create an anesthetic effect the way the rage itself does. So it isn't it's a way of suppressing, keeping someone, geez, okay, I sit back and I don't even allow one scintilla of my rage to show its face because you'll kill me. It causes the suppression, but it doesn't anesthetize against it, where the internally produced rage is an anesthetic. Why was I enraged? Well, there's underlying pain. And that anesthetic, that rage is the anesthetic.
I never caught that before.
Okay.
I didn't make the connection. Yeah, that's very interesting thought.
So then it sounds like maybe an interim worksheet might be to maybe expand that goal a little bit. And again, interim, because it's not going to be the final stage, but it might be the goal might have been to be safe enough to express my rage.
So that would be the goal?
I would say that would be, there might be 77 times 70 worksheets to do around this issue. It's kind of like your life issue. But I would say at this point, from the conversations we've had, that one might be the appropriate step here now and see what it uncovers.
So to be safe.
To express my rage.
To be safe to express my rage.
Or you could even put in brackets, whatever's true for me at any given moment.
That is a big one. That's a big one for me.
Got it.
Speaking
that kind of fits with the conversation you were talking about with that friend that, that it's not safe to even have an opinion, let alone rage.
What's true for me? I like that wording. What's true for me? Thank you, Rosenberg, whatever. I like some of his wording because that leaves me open. As we talked yesterday, I tend to get positioned, and what's true for me helps me kind of stay out of getting positioned.
Well, I would put that one, always defending my position, I would put that on my list of the pseudo solutions of my non-being mind, so that I can watch for when my mind does that and I can go, oops, wait a minute. No, we're not going there. That's not going to produce the result we want. And then I can move to the real work rather than that pseudo solution.
And that's always defending my point of view. Okay.
Yeah.
My position.
And of course, if I think my purpose is to defend my point of view, i.e., and be right, therefore I replace the experience of being the presence of love with being right. And I think that's my purpose, is to prove I'm right. And when I start doing that, I void my experience of myself as the truth of who I am, is the presence of love.
Yeah, and my being a connector and a convener is one of my secondary purposes.
Right.
So when I'm proving I'm right, I have just knocked that one off the chart.
Yeah.
It's not there anymore.
Cool. So I, Celinda, who am love, am feeling rage.
Right. And my
What's the thought?
is
it's not safe to feel.
It's
not safe to express.
Yeah, it's not safe to feel. That's a good one too.
Yeah.
There you go. That's part of it.
Yeah. Not safe to feel it or express it.
Or express rage and what's true for me. It's not. That's my goal. So it's not safe is my thought.
Yeah.
I'm getting a better feel for how to make the goal out of the thought.
Nice. Yeah, it's a practice. Weaning ourselves from the pseudo solutions, stepping away from everything my mind says, oh, but this is how I'm going to resolve it. And being able to say to my mind, excuse me, that's a lie. We're not doing that. Thank you. Thank you for your pseudo solution, but that's never going to take me where I want to go.
Can I just
so
add
the situation.
something? Can I just
Go
add
for
something I'm seeing? Interesting, because I'm working this along with you, Celinda, so thank you so much. That I'm not safe to feel or express my feelings.
Right.
It's one thing to just, to even be aware of our own feelings, but then to express them in the outer world. And even, and I don't know if that's up for Celinda. I just want, and I could feel the tension in my own body.
Oh, yeah. Because, whatever was allowed, like women were allowed to cry and to feel fear. But we weren't allowed to feel rage or express our opinions and be dominant.
So one thing is to have them, to notice that you're having a feeling within you, and then we have to suppress those, and the next one is being allowed to express what's actually going on, what you're actually feeling. So thank you for that, Celinda.
And breathe with that, because now you're allowed. Now you're supported in having those feelings if they're there, and being able to recognize the thoughts beneath them. And if they're not thoughts that support you being in love, then you're supported in forgiving them. So the next level of true empowerment shows up.
So what would the goal look like in the context of in this one? It's a context of rage. That's what we're. But I could use this goal for any other fear or besides rage in a different one.
So we've come to now. We're now to number 1C. What's the specific situation you're going to work on? Who's the person involved?
Who's the person?
Is this from your conversation with this person the other day, this friend of yours? Is that who we're doing this worksheet around?
Yeah, but
so
actually,
name him.
It was my power person, my mother. That was what I was seeing. Yeah.
So it's going to be a reflection. So you could do it on mom, or you could do it now on what happened the other day with this fellow, and
Yeah,
then
let's
go
do
to
that
and go
one.
to Mount. Yeah, probably do that, and then that'll probably take you deeper into the ability to wade through and undo whatever was developed with Mom as a power person dynamic.
Right.
So his name would go in number 1C, and then a brief description of the
David.
situation. David.
Our conversation over forests, if you can imagine.
Right. Any excuse will do. And so what's the specific situation that happened in that conversation?
Oh, he said something that became a trigger for me, or that I picked up on and interpreted negatively. He said that we're farming the forest now. Like he was really proud of farming the forest. And I immediately, because that's the Department of Forestry is under the Department of Agriculture, and that's how the whole situation is set up. It's a farm. It's an industry. It's a monoculture.
Being used for money, for profit.
Yeah, and I didn't even mind the being used for profit because there are private forests that are managed the way a forest really is, that individuals have private forests and they manage them ecologically and regeneratively and like permaculturally and all of these different modes of restoration to what a forest really is and its function, primary function, which is not profit. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I all of a sudden, like I mentioned yesterday, I was in defensive mode, debate mode.
Okay.
And I like what you said about beating. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So then what's your punishment thought toward him?
The win.
In that situation, he says those words. What's your punishment thought?
I want to win.
Okay.
That for me would be a punishment thought.
Okay.
I want to beat him.
So you're going to beat him down. There you go. Yeah. I don't want to debate, but I want to beat him down.
Yeah, I want to beat him. I want to.
What was that thing about smoke and mirrors?
Oh, I love it. I mean, God, I love this. I love this whole approach to healing. It's like it's so to the point.
No.
And yet it's so gentle.
Yeah. Cool. So then, what's your punishment thought? Is there a punishment thought toward yourself in that situation?
Oh, yeah. Then I get to be the mean little, bad little bully girl who beats up my little baby brother-in-law.
Okay. I'm glad you're out west and we're down east.
I have positions about doctrines and dogmas. Let me tell you about them.
Yeah.
I'm right.
This is a big thing. It's a big thing you've relied on in your life, right? As a pseudo solution.
If I could just be right. If I could just be right, I'll be safe.
Yeah. Okay, so then that would be your goal in number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually with him, what would be the goal you had for him? I'd make a note of a worksheet for you to do on yourself in being the bully and wanting to beat people down and be right. So I just make another note. Whenever I'm doing worksheets, I always have a stack of at least a dozen blanks. And each little thing that I come up with, each subtle, because I find when I do a worksheet in writing, I pay a deeper level of attention to my subtler thoughts that otherwise I can just pass on like I didn't even notice they were there. So this would be just start another worksheet with the I want to beat down. I want to win. Although I say I hate debate, the truth is I hate it because maybe I'm not winning, but I want to do it. And that's going to be a whole dynamic to forgive. That the thought comes that that might be a really important dynamic for you to work on and forgive in your relationship with Larry.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to see that in spades.
You'll both get huge relief from this one. Oftentimes if,
Well, that
it's
beats
like if the,
down my
yeah,
that beats
if,
up on my compassion.
yeah, if our power person beat up on us, then we take delight in beating up on others. If our power person delighted in pointing out how wrong we were, no matter how much we tried, then we delight in pointing out to everybody else how wrong they are. And, on and on and on goes the game, because under stress, that's what the mind does, is it defaults to the very thing that the power person did to us that we hated the most. So if the thing you hated the most was being controlled and beat on by your power person, notice that's what you turn to when you're under stress. If the thing you hated the most was being degraded, judged, being told how wrong you were no matter how hard you tried, then notice that that's what you do when you're under stress to others and to yourself. And that's just...
And when you feel like you hold the power, when you feel like you're in control or you're strong enough to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unless your
Pseudo-solutions.
back is, unless I have my back in the corner and then I come out red mad, bull, mama bull.
Just like your power person did.
Yep.
You do exactly to others what your power person did to you that you hated the most. And the mind thinks, the reason we do that is because when we're in confusion, we don't know what to do. We turn to our unconscious and we look at what God did. What is God, our power person? What did they do to us when the stress was up and the chips are down? What did they do to us to win? And that then is what we do unconsciously to try to win. The very thing we hated the most, we do to others. And then we wonder why they, freak out. And we wonder why they leave. And we wonder why, all sorts of things happen. And gee, what did I do? Now, of course, I didn't call it beating them down or making them wrong or giving out, dishing out the daily dose of disapproval to them like my power person. I didn't call that dishing out my daily disapproval. Dish of disapproval to them. I called that just trying to help them and teach them and help them to learn. And that's how those pseudo solutions destroy.
There's a book called The Color Code, and he talks about that. He has 4 different personalities.
Okay.
There is.
Let's stay with the work. Let's stay out of our heads. Let's stay with the worksheet.
Okay.
Let's come on back to
Okay.
it. So what's the goal you had for him in that situation? You're going to do one around your power person and mom. You're going to do one around yourself and him. But what's the goal you had for him in that situation?
In light of all this, that he would agree that I was right, I would suppose.
Okay.
Does that sound about right?
Yeah, if that's what's there for you, yes.
I want David to agree with me.
Do you want him to agree with you, or do you want him to succumb to you?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
My sense is you wanted him to succumb to you.
What's a different word to describe that succumb? It doesn't appeal to me. It's not that it doesn't appeal to me. I can't wrap my head around that word.
Maybe surrender. All the things that would go around along with surrender. Yield to me. Treat me as though I know what I'm talking about. Accept what I say. Surrender. Let me beat him down with my opinion.
I think yield is the proper word.
Okay.
I
That
want
works.
him to yield to my point of view.
There you go. How did it feel in your life when your power person, when the stress was up and the chips are down, and your power person wanted you to yield to their point of view?
I felt like I was a puppet.
So then, did you want him to be the puppet in that situation? Did you want him to be the woman?
Oh,
I.e.,
good
no
point.
opinion, just take what you say and accept it because you're the one with the superior knowledge and awareness, like men have done to you.
That really fits. That really fits our family. The one who knows is the authority. It's authority.
So that's what I would mean by the word succumbing, that he would kowtow to your authority, bow to your authority. Yes, master. Just like the men in your world wanted you as a woman to do to you. Have no opinion, just do what you're told and go, yes, master. That's how that word comes across to me of succumbing.
Okay, kowtow really says it.
Kowtow, yeah. Okay. So I wanted him to kowtow to me. That sounds like a simple, yeah, good. Okay. So now you want to move to step 4 and bring forward the presence of love. You want to just take a breath and notice you got a whole community of people right now doing this worksheet with you, because this worksheet isn't just about you.
Okay.
Are you feeling that presence?
I'm feeling the presence of wanting someone to kowtow to my point of view. It doesn't feel very good.
No. So you want to you want to take a breath and bring the actual presence of love in.
Yep.
Okay. And while we're doing that, I just sent you an email with a section on the development of trust from the course.
Oh, good. I felt that, Michael. I felt that as soon as David said, "Oh, you just have a different position," I felt that breath. I felt that reconnection right then.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
But this is primal. I mean, this is really
piece you really need to let go of.
I love it.
Yeah. And my sense is this is going to totally change your relationship with Larry, like in wondrous ways. It's going to be a gift to both of you.
It's going to change my view, my relationship to myself, even.
Yes.
I mean,
well, it'll be the eradication of yourself and the presence of your true self coming into your physiology.
Well, I'm tired of it for driving the bus.
Yeah. Yeah. So then love is present. You got a whole community here holding the space for you. So now step 5. You're ready to step into, bring that goal for him to kowtow to you forward and cancel it.
Okay. I cancel my goal to have David kowtow to my point of view. And I need to add about Forrest or just my point of view? I mean, it doesn't matter. There'd be another one that would come up.
Yeah. Any circumstance would do. Yeah. So just breathe into that, canceling that goal, and where does your mind go as you do that?
Back to reconnection.
Okay.
Back to connection.
And how do you feel?
Back to community.
Good. Cool.
I'm
Physiologically,
not
how do you feel?
crying. I'm not crying. Look at that. I'm not crying,
There you go.
Michael.
Hey, hey. Connectedness.
It's like,
Nice. Yeah.
it's real. It's a point of it's like when you realize something, when you see something, and it doesn't mean I don't have practice to do. Practice. But when I see something, it's such a relief. It's like
Called coming out of blockage of truth.
Yeah. This is an important MO for me.
Yeah.
I will take my position.
Got it.
But as soon as someone says something and I see that I'm wrong, I do not have a vested interest in being right. Once I see I'm wrong.
Okay.
That's one of my
okay. So I'd invite you to look at your language. Remember, regulatory speech, my words fly up, my thoughts remain below.
Okay.
I don't have a vested interest in being right. I would offer something that might be your 77 times 70 worksheet issue.
At the point, I'm only talking now about the point of when
you don't need to explain.
Situation. Yeah. Only a
I got it.
particular situation.
So I'm just inviting you to notice your own words. Yeah. So I'm inviting you to take a breath and notice your own words.
Let's say it a different way. How could I say it in a way
stop and take a breath. Stop and take a breath.
Okay.
Just take a breath. Just breathe a little bit.
I'm breathing.
Notice that your regulatory speech told your conscious mind that you have a great investment in being right by denying it.
I don't make the connection. If I'm in the middle of a situation and I realize I'm wrong, how am I in denial? If I say, "Oh my goodness, I'm wrong," and the other person falls over on the floor because they don't know what to do because I've dropped the rope.
Yeah. I don't know. I just listen to one of the things that I do is I listen to people's words, because I know that their words tell them what's going on in their own unconscious minds. So when you prefaced error, your words were, "I don't have a great investment in being right. So I'm offering you the feedback to listen to your regulatory speech, and your unconscious mind is telling you that you have a great investment in being right."
And I would agree with that.
Okay, so notice the conflict.
I didn't make the leap.
Right.
I didn't notice the leap between the
there's the leap
and the universal.
Yeah. So there'll be a whole raft of worksheets on that thing of being right, needing to be right. That'll be perfect. In the meantime, we're over time, so let's go to the final step, and with Larry, or pardon me, with what was it, David.
David.
And if you were to frame and commit to a goal out of that circumstance toward David, what would that be? A goal based in love toward David.
My goal for David is to share with him what I learned from this worksheet. That's my goal. I can't think of any better goal than that one.
Okay, so that would be a goal for you. That's what we're looking for. What are you going to do toward David? So you're going to share with him your insight from this. Awesome. Cool. Well, that's going to open a huge space, especially when he was able to tap into that during the discussion. So that's awesome. Nice work. Whew. The world rejoices.
So do I. It's really part of my making amends. I'm a real believer in making amends and trying to find a concrete way of doing it, which is, gee, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. So
notice if you step into sorry, and I'm not going to do it again. Sorry, we'll keep the system going, and you'll be doing it again soon.
That's
So
right.
again, watching your regulatory speech, I'd offer that, remember that movie? And I can remember watching it and not really understanding it. Love means you never have to say you're sorry. So I'm going to invite you to consider never saying the words "I'm sorry" ever again. If you make a mistake, you own we've got the apology tool. You own your mistake and you replace it with, here's what I'm going to do in the future, rather than I'm sorry for this, because if you tell me, for instance, you're sorry for this, my mind and your mind are now joined in the energy of what you're sorry for, and chances are it's going to happen again. If you take responsibility and apologize, gee, I did this, and from now on, what I'm going to do is this. Now your mind and my mind are joined in the solution. Which do you suppose is going to have a better chance of expressing?
Where is that apology? Is that in the commitment?
No, it's just one of the tools. You can look on the website for the apology tool. But it's
Under
pretty
other
simple.
work.
It's under other worksheets.
Oh,
But it's simple
good. Okay.
and straightforward. Rather than I'm sorry for, I apologize. I own I was off base. And then I want to be clear in what I'm going to do instead, so that your mind and my mind are joined in producing the instead rather than repeating what I'm sorry for.
Okay, good. I want that because I
Awesome.
would like to learn
Other
a
worksheets.
different way of expressing.
Cool.
Yeah.
And it'll be fun to hear the result of your conversation with David when you share with him your insight and the beautiful opportunity he gave you to heal, and appreciate your willingness to go there and letting go of the need to be right. Good work.
This is awesome. Thank you, Susan. All of you who are listening, thank you for supporting me, and Michael and Jeanie. Yeah. Woo.
And Cammie says, "Oh, this one's definitely about me too." Oh, yes. Well, I'm sure we're all in there. So.
Tammy, I'm supporting you and Susan and everybody. Boy, you ladies are spot on with my issues.
All right. Holding a space, everybody. Thanks for